Overlord is upon us. Originally rumoured to be a Cloverfield Connected film, the movie recently departed from this aesthetic to stand strong as its own entity. There's a lot to unpack from Overlord, including an incredible opener and final battle, and throughout this video I'll be breaking down the things you need to know about the movie's plot and ending. There will be heavy spoilers, and this is a film that deserves to be seen on the big screen, so you have been warned. With that out the way, I'm Deffinition and I ruin it so you don't have to. Okay, so the first question that you may have when clicking this video is, are there any connections to the Cloverfield universe at all? Unfortunately not, and it's difficult to even imagine how the plot of this film would have tied into the Anthology series. There is, however, an abundance of gore, supernatural elements, and some absolutely incredible moments that more than make up for what could have likely just been a quick cash grab like the Cloverfield paradox. The film begins on D-Day, and we join paratroopers Ford, Boyce, and their squadron as they begin the counter-invasion. The group have been tasked with destroying an enemy radio tower located on top of a church. After their plane is shot down, they must make their way to the target on foot, which is when they run into French native Chloe. Chloe leads them to the village where she lives, which overlooks the church, and the group realise that it has been fortified into a Nazi laboratory. Chloe lives with her aunt, who looks and sounds like Darth Vader with the mask off, and her younger brother, Paul. A Nazi officer named Waffner visits the house and attempts to rape Chloe, which is stopped by Boyce and Ford. They tie him up and Boyce goes to investigate the church. Upon arrival, he realises that the area is pulled straight out of your worst Wolfenstein nightmare and is packed with body bags, severed heads and corpses. In the lab, Boyce discovers a serum and notices a doctor carrying out experiments on the dead. Boyce manages to rescue a member of his company called Roosevelt, who's been experimented on, and the two escape the facility with the serum in hand. Back at the house, they question Waffner about the serum, who denies all knowledge of it but manages to wrangle free and kills one of the squadron members. Boyce uses the serum on this seemingly dead soldier, which reanimates him. He begins to mutate and then attempts to murder the group, but they fight back, and as usual, bullets don't hurt him, and the only thing that does is destroying his head. Like really destroying it, like smashing it into the ground. Anyway, Waffner explains that the serum is capable of bringing the dead back to life, and we get the famous 1,000-year Reich requires 1,000-year soldiers line. It's a great line that really hints to the methods of the Nazis and their real life goals, which is something that I'll get into later in this video. Waffner flees the group, takes Paul hostage and gets half his face blown off in the escape. By this point, the audience and characters are hit with the realization that the radio tower is still operational and the deadline for its destruction is slowly drawing nearer. Boyce convinces Ford that they must destroy it and rescue Paul at the same time. With Chloe, they set off on their mission to the underground, which is where they plant the bombs and set up the tower for demolition. Chloe rescues Paul, but Ford is attacked by a mutated Waffner, who is now near invincible. Waffner has injected himself with a serum in order to heal his wounds, but this has sent him insane and he now believes that he's a god. Unable to beat him and fatally wounded, Ford injects himself with a serum and the two battle it out. Ford, with the help of Boyce, manages to set off an explosion that throws Waffner down the mine where the serum was discovered before telling Boyce to leave him. This is because the serum is too deadly to be in either the hands of the Allies or Nazis, and it's safer being buried in the rubble. Waffner confirms this by crawling up out of the pit as more of the dead begin to reanimate around him. Boyce escapes, setting off the bombs and destroying the tower and dig site. In a hearing at the end of the movie, Boyce lies and says that Ford planted the bombs inside instead of out in order to ensure the radio tower's destruction and that he didn't make it out. Boyce doesn't mention anything about the serum even when questioned in order to keep the secret safe. Roosevelt, who was experimented on earlier in the movie, remarks that he's in really good shape for what he's been through. Personally, I took this as the serum now being out into the world. Roosevelt was connected to the serum and therefore exposed to it. Though Boyce and Ford believe that they buried the serum in the rubble, they linger on this moment a little too long for me to believe that it isn't a hint at what may come now that the serum is in the hands of a US soldier. What I absolutely love about Overlord is that it's not too detached from the real life Nazis' overall goal. The political party were heavily into the occult, and Hitler was renowned for sending out soldiers to investigate myths and legends in order to discern if there was any truth to them. The Aryan Superman, which is what Hitler believed to be a superior race, was famously something that he strived for in his hideous racial cleansing agenda. The doctor carrying out the experiments has ties to the real-world Holocaust overseer, Dr. Joseph Mengele. This concentration camp doctor used to experiment heavily on children and people under his care to see if there were any ways to improve mankind. Some of these experiments included amputating patients' limbs without anesthetic and giving them blood coagulation pills in order to stop the bleeding to help discern whether this could work with wounds in combat. It really was a horrendous time period that I think's been well fictionalized here. There's a lot more going on beneath the surface of Overlord, and I highly recommend that you look deeper into Nazi history if this has piqued your interest. Personally, I really enjoy the film and think that it definitely deserves all of the high praise that it's getting. It's well shot, choreographed, and doesn't overstay its welcome, making for a fun ride from start to finish. So, what are your thoughts on Overlord? Did you enjoy the film, and do you wish that they tied into the Cloverfield universe? Comment below and let me know, and if you enjoyed this video then please like it and check out my breakdown of the leaked Avengers 4 trailer, which will be linked at the end of this video. This is a channel for people who are heavy into horror, so if that's the kind of thing you like, hit subscribe. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this. I've been Deffinition, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.